Black eye perspective. Well, hello and good morning to everyone. I'm so glad that we are all together today. Today is Wednesday, November the 17th, 2021. And we're going to continue on with the talks that we're doing right now with, all the research and all the robots of it all and all the AI of it all for this week at least. I hope that you guys have all brought your beverages, your crumpets, your tea, whatever you get down with in the morning, baby bubba. Whatever you drink or have in the morning, I hope you brought it. So today we're going to look at some pretty amazing stuff. The first thing that I want to ask everybody is, has anybody in the chat ever got the opportunity to watch the Black Mirror series that was on Netflix? Now, it got a little creepy after a minute, so I sort of stopped watching it. But before I stopped watching it, I saw an excerpt of these things that they would stick in the back of the neck. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Mama Bear, Papa Bear. And today I'm having tea. I'm not having the coffee today. Today I'm doing tea. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So as we know, Cons and Kid said that they loved Black Mirror. Okay, so then that means that you're going to appreciate this. This particular jazz morning, we are going to look at the Black Mirror's mind reading technique. We're also going to tie that in with what's going on with Elon Musk's Neuralink, which we did a show on a while ago, to get everybody up to speed on the specific video that I'm talking about. We're going to go ahead and play it right here, and I want everybody to listen in as we all refamiliarize, if we can say that, ourselves with this. Good morning, Christ Soldier, Knowledge 2020. Sarah Brown, good morning, good morning. Come on, Read Unstoppable, how are you? Amy and Mama Bear, Papa Bear. Let's get into this, you guys. Now, you may remember this. I'm going to turn our morning jazz down so we can listen to this here. All right, here we are.
Elon Musk is one step closer to connecting a computer to your brain. At an event on Friday, Elon Musk revealed more details about his mysterious neuroscience company Neuralink and its plans to connect computers to human brains. While the development of this futuristic-sounding tech is still in its early stages, the presentation was expected to demonstrate the second version of a small robotic device that inserts tiny electrode threads through the skull and into the brain. Musk said ahead of the event that he would show neurons firing in real time, the Matrix in the Matrix. And he did just that. At an event, Musk showed off several pigs that had prototypes of the Neuralinks implanted in their head and machinery that was tracking those pigs' brain activity in real time. The billionaire also announced that the Food and Drug Administration had awarded the company a breakthrough device authorization. It can help expedite research on a medical device. Like building underground car tunnels and sending private rockets to Mars, this Musk-backed endeavor is incredibly ambitious, but Neuralink builds on years of research into brain-machine interfaces. A brain-machine interface is technology that allows for a device like a computer to interact and communicate with a brain. Neuralink, in particular, aims to build the incredible powerful brain-machine interface, a device with a power to handle lots of data that can be inserted in a relatively simple surgery. Its short-term goal is to build a device that can help people with specific health conditions. The actual status of Neuralink's research has been somewhat murky, and Friday a big announcement happened as ex-employees complain of internal chaos at the company. Musk had already said the project allowed a monkey to control a computer device with its mind. And as the New York Times reported in 2019, Neuralink has distributed a system with 1,500 electrodes connected to a lab rat. Since then, Musk has hinted at the company's progress, though those involved have generally been close-lipped about the status of the research. I have really nothing else to say, except for the fact that after watching the presentation, he actually said that you could store past memories and thoughts and emotions, and you could read the minds of those around you, and you could also predict or prevent your own death. Yeah, I'll leave the links down below for ya. This is Felicia Lockhart, and this has been the Lockhart Perspective.
Well. That was a year ago that was recorded and created, and we did that. But isn't it amazing how everything is all sort of tying together? Did you hear the part where it can actually detect your death or predict the death? OMG. Is that trying to have power, as in play God, every single time you turn around? Well, there is a news story that we're going to follow up with this, and it should tell us a little bit about what their thought processes are as it relates to the whole Black Mirror thing. Remember, we were talking about Black Mirror. Well, our minds may no longer be a safe haven for secrets. That's right. Scientists are working toward building mind-reading algorithms. Now, I feel like a lot of this stuff's already out here. That's what I think. I do. Have you ever picked up your phone and get ready to type something and it starts typing before you even get it out of your mouth? Yeah, that part. So it goes on to say that it may have building mind-reading algorithms that could potentially decode our innermost thoughts through memories that act as a database. For most, this probably sounds a lot like the Netflix hits series Black Mirror. The dystopian sci-fi thriller recently showcased a chilling episode called The Crocodile. Now, I don't know how many of you all remember that one, but it was called The Crocodile, that used memory reading techniques to investigate accidents for the insurance companies. It was for insurance purposes. The eerie episode is set in an AI-driven world of driverless vehicles and facial recognition technologies. The plot of The Crocodile centers on the icy crimes of a witness that investigators revealed with help from intelligent technology. Now, the insurance agent uses a memory recaller known as the corroborator in the episode, and that comes with surveillance chip. It's a little surveillance chip. Once connected to the user, the device allows the insurance agents to access engrams and creates a collaborative picture of the witness's range of memory on the screen. So how many of you all saw that? I know I remember that. Creepy stuff. Oh, I hope you all brought your tea or your coffee, because I'm drinking mine while I chat with you. Yeah, that's what we're supposed to do here. All right. So now, it goes on to tell us that that comes with a surveillance chip, and once connected to the user, the device allows the insurance agents to access engrams and create a corroborative picture of the witness's range of memory on the screen, and it replays the entire accident from the user's position. The agent recreates a similar atmosphere to jog the subject's memory, in this case employing a song and beer. While insurance tech in the real world may not be quite this sophisticated, technology that reveals a subject's most innermost thoughts could actually be a reality one day. Experts are currently mapping sections of the brain to collect the data that helps them understand human interactions using language, sentences, images, thoughts, and even dreams. Let me come over here and check on you guys, and I'll go ahead and continue a little further. We'll start from the bottom because I really want to hear what you think about this. Knowledge 2020 says, in response to Christ Soldier. It should, Christ Soldier. I think that the AC, I saw what the word is the AC. It enters the temple and proclaims itself the God. We are a temple of the Holy Spirit, our body. 1 Corinthians 3:16. Well, thank you for that very much, Knowledge 2020. Let's see what else we've got up here. Hey, old head, how are you? You say, Lockhart, how are you? No, thank you. Transhumanism is what DG says. I've got to agree with DG on that one. No, thank you. Yuck, right? Morning, old head Deuce. There, you guys go loving on each other. I love it. Imagine Zuckerberg's Meta connected to the Neuralink. Can you imagine that? That's something to consider, because I know that Meta has the ability to draw you into an entire room. It's like you can put on something on your head and you can literally go into the room. You can decorate the room. They even have a way for you to purchase. Listen, for you to purchase land and property. Can you believe it? And there's actually some data some stories that show that they've actually had people to go out in this metaverse and do just that. And they do just that. Creepy. Creepy. That's all I know. That's all I know. Hey, people, Chicken Patty 13 says. Okay, so yeah, so it's not a good thing, but I think it's good for us to check this stuff out, right? Because Alan Davis, bonjour, Fifi, bonjour to you as well. Isn't it good for us to sort of look at this stuff? And you know why? Thank you, Dan. Do you know why it's good for us to look at this stuff? Because a lot of this stuff has already been out. Even though we are looking at it now together, and that's good to check it out collectively, a lot of these things are already being tested. Don't you know they have to beta test this stuff on somebody? So I would imagine that before we read this in an article like this right here, that they are already rumbling with it. That it's already doing its thing. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that it's already out there. I think they're already using it. And don't you know that it could be somebody that you know? How would we feel if we found that they were doing this on people unbeknownst to them? Hint, hint. Okay? All right? Chris Soldier says it's appointed to man once to die. Sarah Brown says, I always wondered what was really up with Stephen Hawking. Did they just upload him into the system, or was he always just a system to begin with? Well, you know what I thought about him was I thought that it was sort of curious about his death. That's what I thought. I thought that it was very curious. I did. I did. But I will tell you, you make a valid point. You make a very valid point. I want to welcome everybody to, Fifi's Jazz and Coffee. I had the jazz over here, but it was getting a little bit rambunctious. So let's get it back in. Let's get it back on. It was getting a little bing, 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 bing. That ain't thing. And I don't think I could take it too much. It was too early for it. So had to turn it down a little bit. It got a little too, got a little bit too out there. But nonetheless, we're going to go on ahead and finish reading. Dan says, I pity the fool that didn't smash the like button. That is too cute. Coffee, check. You got your coffee? I hope so. Yes. Okay, somebody, let's see. Come on, Read Unstoppable says she got her hot chocolate. Coffee, cheers, says Chicken Patty 13. Yes. We have to have the beverages. We must. If anyone knows, there's a firmament proving God. It's Elon Musk. Yet he still moves forward to alter God's creation of mankind. What a fool. I think it is sort of crazy when people begin to think that they could be God. You know what I mean? I mean, the creator. That to me is so, I think that it's very vain. I think it's very, very vain. Got coffee bladder, LOL. Good morning, Leaf Desi. I like my coffee strong, Sarah Brown says, like motor oil. She says, like motor oil, but I put heavy whipping cream in it. Okay. Hey, then you got to have it the way you want it. That's all I know. All right, that's all I know. You got to have it the way you want it. So let's get back into the rest of the story because there's a couple of other stories that I want us to go through. And I'd like to thank Rachel Van Ziel for sending these great stories. I love it. I said it yesterday. I appreciate it. If there are any stories that you want to bring or you want to send, please do. You're going to send those to Felicia at FeliciaLockhart.com. And I appreciate her for doing this. So she finds out the topics that she knows that we're interested in, and she just floods the inbox with it. And that's good. All right, so the language charting in a 2016 study funded by the National Science Foundation neuroscientists Alexander Huth of UC Berkeley and a team of researchers built a semantic atlas to decode the human thoughts. The atlas displayed how the human brain organizes language through vivid colors and multiple dimensions. The system also helped identify areas of the brain that correspond with words with similar meanings. Researchers conducted the brain imaging study by asking subjects to remain inside of an fMRI while they listened to stories on the Moth Radio Hour, function magnetic resonance imaging. That's the fMRI. I've never heard of a functional magnetic resonance imaging machine. That's amazing. Huh. Well, it detects subtle changes in the blood flow in the brain to measure the neurological activity, and the study did just that. The experiment disclosed that at least 1/3 of the brain's cerebral cortex is involved in language processing, including areas dedicated to high-level cognition. Such data-driven techniques could give a voice to those who cannot speak, especially those with motor neuron diseases like ALS or victims of brain strokes or brain damage or stroke. Now, complex behavior was in 2017. A team of Carnegie Mellon University, or CMU, led by Marcel, just developed a way to identify complex, excuse me, what was that? Well, that was amazing. You see that? It just jumped on in there. Okay, they just identified a complex, wow, they really did just jump in there and throw me completely off. Well, anyway, I digress. Let's go ahead on and get it. So start from the beginning, should you? Yeah, you should. Okay, so in 2017, a team from Carnegie Mellon University, CMU, led by Marcel, just developed a way to identify complex thoughts, like the witness shouted during the trial. Researchers used machine learning algorithms and brain imaging technology to show the different areas of the brain formed in the mind's building blocks to construct complex thoughts. In 2014, the CMU introduced the Brain Hub, an initiative that focuses on modern brain research, linking neuroscience to behavior through machine learning applications, statistics, and computational modeling. Brain Hub continues to examine the ways that we use neural interventions, to help people with neurological conditions and developmental disorders. Facial reconstruction. Now, I know about facial they're able to actually see the face and see what it is and recognize it. So facial reconstruction in 2014, a research group led by Alan S. Cowan, a former undergrad student at Yale University, accurately reconstructed images of human faces based on how the study subject's brain reacted to the images. Researchers mapped the brain activity. Is it me? Or did you just see that? You demon. This thing is a demon. So here's what I'm going to do. So basically what it's saying is that it actually not only took the ability to map what their thoughts were, but in conjunction with a few other modelings, they were able to actually dictate a lot of stuff. Let's just put that there, because I ain't messing with this demon. This is NVIDIA. That's what keeps jumping. NVIDIA in conjunction with Microsoft Azure, which we already know. If you know anything about either one or the compilation of the both of them, that means they don't want you doing a lot of stuff. So it keeps jumping. But in any case, I digress. Let's go on ahead here and look at the Metaverse thought leaders tout vision at NVIDIA GTC event. Now, if you guys remember just a few weeks ago, about a month or so even, there was an NVIDIA story that we did where they showed that there was an actual wing, a whole entire room, which is a gigantic computer that they're using there in Florida. They actually say that in Florida, that particular area is going to be considered, the South will be considered the food basket of the United States. And it's because they are able to get up all this land that they're getting. I honestly believe that all the land that they're taking is going to make a lot of sense to us in a minute, because they're taking a lot of southern stuff and they're taking a lot of other stuff in the Midwest too. But anyway, down in Florida, what they have is they have this big machine. We put it, I think it was on Bettina's channel. I think I did it and put it on Bettina's channel. But anyway, big giant machine. Inside this big giant machine is the computer. And this computer can compute all kinds of stuff. Well, based on their computations, they dictate that Florida is going to have all of the food grown in the United States, majority of it, in that area. And so when you consider that now they've got that going on, they've got the brain power going on, there's not going to be any real humans left. That 500 million, was it 500 million? 500 million number from the Georgia Guidestones seems to make more sense now. Because after they get rid of everybody, after they get rid of all the jobs like we saw yesterday, after they do all this fiddle-faddling with the brain cells of the people that are left, who's left? There's not going to be hardly any normal people left. I don't understand this, but I do know that in order for all of this stuff to come to fruition, they're going to have to give a lot of people lunch passes, if you know what I mean. And I think it's going to be a little bit more than what we're seeing right now. I think we're going to see a lot more people having lunch passes than we see right now. Does anybody understand what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, this page keeps jumping. And that's okay. It's all good. We're going to leave this page alone and we're going to go on to the next story. So the next story that we have is also dealing with the brain, because I want to drive this fact home today. I really do. I want to drive it home. So there is injectable nanosensors that can read your brain. Now this story I think really is closer to what we're dealing with today, if you know what I mean. And I do hope that this does not jump. But here we go. A new kind of injectable biosensor might one day be able to read your thoughts or let you communicate with nothing but your mind. Researchers behind the Neural Swarm 3 say it's gold-plated nanosensors. Now, I want to say this, gold-plated nanosensors. I don't know how many people read a lot of different information, but I'm going to lay this out here. If you remember, they've been covering up the sky. You've heard about the Planet X deal. You've heard about the planet Nibiru. You've heard about all this, whatever they want to call it today, yesterday, or whatever. You've heard about all of that. Well, there are some stories that say that there was gold here and that there's a group now. Now, mind you, listen now, follow. I'm not saying, just listen. There was a group of people or a group of individuals that came from another far off place, but they came here. And that when they came here, they had humans mining for gold. And that the gold is, and it's evidence because they need gold even now to get from this planet into orbit. Okay, all the rockets have gold in them. All right, there's gold in everything, even with human beings. That if human beings were to take in a specific amount of gold, it would make you a conductor of sorts. Now, there may be somebody out there that knows exactly the vein that I'm going in, and you may be well trained in it, and I, of course, am not. But I am saying, I find it quite telling that this brain story that we are looking at right now, right here, the injectable nanosensors that will one day read your thoughts, the first thing they talk about is a gold-plated nanosensor. Neural Swarm 3 say it's gold-plated nanosensors, which are the size of a single viral particle, could travel through the bloodstream and cross the blood-brain barrier. Once inside the brain, they could act like a kind of antenna, turning the neural activity into optical signals that could be wirelessly sent to an external device. The researchers at the University of Southern California, Santa Cruz, believe that it could help scientists better understand the mysteries of human cognition. Longer term potential applications sound like the stuff that science fiction, composing messages with your thoughts, controlling exoskeletons with your mind, the ability to monitor neurological disease with no invasive procedures. Neural Swarm 3 can convert the signals that accompany thoughts to remotely measurable signals for high precision brain machine interface. Now, this statement was made by Ali Yannick, co-author of the study. The technological works of tapping into the electrical signal that neurons use to send information to each other. This happens when humans do just about anything, including moving and thinking. The Neural Swarm 3 is a new way to monitor that electrical activity. In fact, Yankin's latest research shows that it's sensitive enough to pick up the activity of the individual brain cells. That is creepy. The individual brain cells? Oh, wow. Okay. All right. It says, quote, the technology is similar to RFID. All right. That's what he says, that it's similar to that. And with RFID, you have a backscattered signal. And then you read a static signal, which delivers you a barcode or whatever it may be. In our case, we have this barcode, which is the electrophysiological signal of the cells, but it's not static, and we are reading it wirelessly. OMG. Let that sink in. The fact that the technology operates at the nanoscale is what makes it incredible despite their tiny size. Each nanosensor particle includes wireless power transfer, electronic translation, neural signals, and broadcasting those signals. And because the neural sensors can pass the blood-brain barrier, it means that it can be injected directly into the bloodstream. Are you feeling me on this? Boy. It's important to note that any testing on animals or humans has not yet occurred. But if the procedure would be, but if it is, the procedure would be a lot less invasive than comparable technologies such as Elon Musk's Neuralinks, it says, wow, wherein that requires a surgically implanted microchip. See, you see how they're doing it? They want you to say, okay, well, at least it's not having something surgically put in. At least we could put it in your blood. So not that we really asking your permission, but if you had your choice, which would it be? Would you want us to inject this, or would you like us to do brain surgery? Well, obviously, any dodo would say, go ahead and just inject it. But why even have it as an option? Why don't you just leave us alone? Yeah, because that's not going to happen, because those that rule this place want control, and because they cannot be omnipotent, because they cannot be omnipresent, because they cannot be knowing everything and be anywhere at the same time. They have to play God. They have to play Yah. And that's the whole purpose of the whole entire thing. They are playing Yah. But the funny thing is, we already know the story. All right, we already know the story and the end thereof. So it goes on to say that it's important to note that any testing on animals or humans has not yet occurred, but if it is, the procedure would be a lot less invasive than comparable technologies such as Elon Musk's Neuralink. Whereas this actually requires surgical implanting of a chip and wires hanging out of the side of the person's skull. So they bash them with that one. Neural Swarm 3 doesn't require surgical implants or wires. The nanoparticles are also powered indefinitely. Whoa. So once they're injected and once they're in the body, that's it. They're in there. Okay, so we are just at the beginning stages of this novel technology, but I think that we have a good foundation to build on, Yannick says. And he continues with our next goal is to start experiments in animals. Okay. Let all that is pinky in the brain just set in for a second, shall we? Just let all of the pinky and the brain of it all just set in. I don't know about y'all, but I tell you one thing. This place is becoming creepier and creepier every single day. Every single day it's becoming creepier and creepier. I honestly feel, I keep saying this. I think we bumped up against another parallel universe and I just ended up being shifted over here with all you lovely people. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Old Head Dude says Elon Musk is like a Kardashian. He don't do nothing. Okay. All right. Yeah, he does a lot more than nothing, honey. He's really, really showing us exactly what they're capable of. What they're capable of. And I have no fear of any of this. How about you guys? I don't have any fear. I hope you guys still have your coffee or your hot beverage. I don't have any fear because I trust in the Most High. And I know that this is really creepy stuff that they've got going on. But let me tell you guys something. This stuff has been going on for millennia. There has been a battle that's been going on. It has not included us. But it does include our Father. Okay? Because they really, 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 those who inhabit those bodies that we're looking at rolling around here, flailing their arms like the Gates guy. Whoa. Those people really want to be your God. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Let's see what everybody has to say here. David Lewis says, ever see transcendence? Nope. Maybe Hawkins' consciousness was unloaded. You know what? I believe that, yeah, anything is possible, apparently. And remind you, these people have just now started letting us know more and more, right? But how about the fact that by the time we know stuff, it's already things that are out there. By the time they tell us, by the time they show us, it's stuff that's already been used. Yeah, I do believe that. But don't you think the last story was a bit telling because it did say that very soon, let me go back over here for you. I want to highlight this part with the highlighter here. That we are just at the beginning stages of this novel technology or new technology. But I think we have a good foundation to build on. Our next goal is to start experiments in animals. Y'all already been experimenting in animals. Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. And now let's not forget, if we put all the pieces together, we'll remember that there were foods and beverages back a few years ago that had all kinds of stuff in them. Little bots and stuff. So, I mean, come on now. Come on, who they trying to kid? We already know what's up. We already know what's good. David Lewis says, now we're moving toward Minority Report, another movie which is turning out to be our modern world with a cyberspace interaction and the thought level. I like your emojis. Those are cool. Where'd you get those, David Lewis? Those are cool emojis. Don't you guys think those are cool? Huh. Very nice. Very nice. Hello, come on, read Unstoppable. Woodworker says hi from Australia. Oh, man, I hope that you guys are doing okay because the stuff that they're showing us over here is really sad about what's going on. And then I'm sure you guys are seeing some pretty bad stuff over there, Australia, about us here. Isn't that the way that it always is? I want to thank everybody for coming on in. We are having our coffee. We're having our tea. Some are having hot chocolate. We're having a little bit of jazz. This is nothing scripted. We are just enjoying ourselves talking together as if we would if we met one another, in a store or if we had a gathering and we're all just chilling. That's what this is. This is nothing what we're doing today and what we'll be doing every morning, Monday through Friday from 9 to 10:30 or 9 to 10 or 9 to whenever the spirit lifts. We'll be sitting here chit-chatting with each other, just talking, playing a little bit of jazz, drinking on our beverage, And I guess if you're in another country or another area, you may have a hot libation. Maybe you'll have a libation that, has a little bit of taint of coffee in it or something like that if you're in a different area, of course. Okay, but here, right now, we're having coffee, hot chocolate, and whatever else you want to have. I mean, because for all we know, you could have been working all night. And maybe your breakfast starts off with a little bit of, I don't know, scotch or something. Hey, I don't know. Anyway, what we're talking about today and what we have been talking about this week is looking at technology and how it ties in with everything that we're doing. Literally, I've been on this whole topic of the replacements lately. You guys remember the story that we did on Bettina's channel, where we were talking about all of the nurses that were coming in from the Philippines. And it outrages a lot of us. We were very upset about that. But here's what I was thinking. Not only are they doing that, but they'll only need a handful of nurses if they push the triage nurse that Dr. McKinney was talking about on last Monday's show. It's on the Patreon. She was talking about that she had seen the triage nurse. I had seen a video about the triage nurse. But do you think that they're bringing in a few of these nurses from other places simply to match them, so they'll only need a few, right? They're not going to need a whole bunch, but to simply match them with these robots that they have. Now, mind you, China and Japan are Robotville. They are Robotville. I wonder if we can find something about them right now, having all those robots, because I know maybe we can find a small story. Doesn't matter what the topic would be about, but I do want to see if we can find something telling us about some of the robots overseas. Let's check. I know that they have robots that work in the hotels for, what is it called? Your bellhop, people that check you in. It's actually a robot. Yeah. So let's check and see. Robots in China, robot exhibition. Oh, well, let's just see. Let's see if we can find something that is going to be Creative Commons, because I don't need no trouble with these people over their stuff. Okay, let's check. Oh, here's one. Okay, this one. Oh, biohybrids. Now, this is 2 years ago, but let's see what they've got to say, shall we? And look, it's the World Economic Forum. Okay. I'm excited about this. Y'all already know I'm weird. For those of you who don't know me, you gonna know me. You gonna know me. Either you like me or you don't. You love me or you... But I love everybody, so that's how I am. So it doesn't matter. So yes, I am a cornball. But here we go, folks. Let's get into this. And it does say that it's Creative Commons.
Human beings have created very attractive technology and devices such as humanoid smartphone or self-driving cars. But yet, we still cannot make a very wonderful functions such as the biological system have in nature. For example, the highly sensitive detection like dog nose, self-healing or self-reproduction in our cellular systems, highly energy efficient motions or processing like in our muscles and brain. So the idea I want to share with you today is that if we cannot create a whole biological system from scratch by using the current production technologies, why not using the biological materials directly combined with the artificial materials? That is the concept of the biohybrid research we are now working on. For example, very recently, we developed a biohybrid finger, which consists of the tissue-engineered living muscles with a 3D printed finger bone-like structures. When we apply the electric stimulation to the muscle make a contraction motions so the finger can move back and forth. So this demonstration is very simple to pick up a small object, but the world's first demonstrations showing that we can actually use the living muscles as a part of the robotic systems, which achieves the highly energy efficient motions. So that thinking about the biohybrid devices, so we can actually categorize the device into 4 groups. That is the biohybrid sensors, reactors, actuators, and processors. For the sake of time, I just mentioned about the biohybrid sensors. As a sensors, we are now focusing on using the insect because the insect has a super sensors on its antenna. For example, bees can even detect the addictive drugs and bombs, and mosquito can detect the human beings by detecting the human sweat coming from the skin. So that we like to use such kind of sensors in the robotic systems. At the practical applications, we are now trying to make the robot to find a human being in natural disasters. Because in Japan, we often have a huge disaster like an earthquake, tsunami, and typhoon, and so on. So finding a human being in disaster as soon as possible is very important technological challenge, as you may understand. So we are now focusing using the mosquito, because the mosquito has an antenna that can detect the human being, as I mentioned. So what we did is to identify the protein existing in the antenna to find the human beings, and purify the protein and put into the small sensors. So once a human odor binds to the protein, they make electric signals. And that kind of electric signals go to the mobile robot so that the mobile robot can move. So when we apply the human odor to the robot, and the robot can move forward, like in this movie. But as you may understand, we need to develop the robot to find a human being so that the robot has to move towards the source of the human odor. But unfortunately, in this case, the robot actually ran away from the human odor. It's completely opposite. So we are now making the source finding algorithm to the robot. It's still on the way. So if you can make such biohybrid sensors, we can not only detect human beings, but also we can detect many kind of chemicals. For example, we can actually detect the addictive drugs, and also we can detect odor of the bombs and so on. But eventually, if we can detect a very tiny chemical from our mouth, I mean the breath, so we can actually detect the disease like a cancer or diabetes, which bring us a huge healthcare market, as you may understand. So this is just a story of the biohybrid sensors, but we can actually expand this kind of concept, not only for the sensors, but also the many kind of devices, and eventually we can put into a single system, like a biohybrid robot. But of course, making the robot is not just a goal, but through this work, we can develop so many kind of technologies or devices that achieve the biological functions, which we never achieved so far. So therefore, we believe that thinking biohybrid will change the world much better and convenient, and that finally bring us the super healthy and ecological lifestyle in the society. Thank you very much for your attention.
And to Deborah Johnson's point and Sarah Brown's point, Sarah says, I think these people who think they run things are really just stupid. From all their inbreeding, their plans aren't going to work out the way they think. This is, yes, very telling, right? And Deborah Johnson says, speaking at the World Economic Forum. Exactly. So it should tell us that as much as they like to bring up the, these stories that they fabricate. And here is what I said yesterday. I put my hands down and I say, I just submit that every one of the news clips that they show us and that we see are to work to their end, to work to their good. That's what I think. I think that every one of their stories that they put up to divide us, whether it be what's going on with Ahmaud Arbery, rest his soul if he really, if this was, because we do watch movies and we do see stuff, right? Okay. That as well as this poor young boy, Kyle, and I said yesterday that, if this is a movie, if this is a story, that I personally would be on the character who played the role of Kyle. Why? Because that is what's not being said. What's not being said is these are real reenactments of real people. And if I had to be on somebody's side, I would be on somebody's side who was defending themselves, who was defending somebody else. Okay? So what they're doing is they're using all of this stuff to do exactly what they want to see happen. While we are distracted, while we are focusing on the black and the white of it all, while we are focusing on the fights and the non-fights and the stab, murder, death, kill, all that stuff that we talked about yesterday, When we're focused on all of that stuff, we can't see what they're doing. And these things are being done right up under our noses. Remember the dates in the story. And to Melinda Ed, the answer to the story was, it was published July 24th, 2021. And if you remember the story that we were just reading prior to seeing this young man tell us exactly how they're teaching these robots to do what they do, they were saying that there were actual studies that were done back in 2014. Let's not forget, we got to connect the dots. President Obama actually did the whole brain. Somebody want to help me with that? Deborah, I know you know. There was that brain thing that he had, that he created. And I'll look it up. But I don't want to say that right now. I'll wait on that one. But anyway, there was a whole brain thing that he did. It's like a whole study for the brain. Well, this is why. So that they can give legal access to your mind. Legal access to your mind. This thing is far more nefarious than any of us would imagine. I mean, I know that we all have our ideas about just how evil and wicked they could be, but this right here, it just takes the cake. It looks as if all they want is a bevy of slaves, just a bevy of slaves to do their bidding. Truth in Broadcasting, how are you? It's so good to see you. It is so good to see you. Yes, and AI controls it all. Yes, absolutely. Yes. The plan, Yahweh laughs. Okay, they plan, Yahweh laughs, of course. Okay, Gloria Young says, bugs and robots they're into. I had a feeling, Truth Broadcasting said. Yep, and I think that's to the fact that it was the World Economic Forum. Yeah. Just because they can do something doesn't mean they should do it. No moral core. Absolutely. God will not be mocked, grace and full. That is absolutely true. That a man sows, that shall he also reap. You cannot put down orange seeds and get up onions. It's just not going to happen. So whatever you put out there, there is a payday. You get a payday if you do good. You get a payday if you do bad. Paydays. And you also get a payday if you go to the market and get one. I love paydays. Those are good. But my point is that yes, they are going to receive what they get. Sarah, I blame centuries of inbreeding of the elite too. Yeah. Yep. Chemicals that make computers not good for health. That's right. Miss Tree, it's good to see you. I can already smell disease or upcoming illness in others before they are ill. It's called being in touch with your gifted senses. Wow, Miss Tree. That's heavy. Grace and Full says, God hears the cries of the righteous. Yes. Deborah Johnson says, their own cognizant dissidents. That's correct. That's correct. We praise him in these evil times. That's right. Jazz, yes, do you hear it? Yeah, it's back there. And the description down below has it as well. And that's for AKA Sin, I don't know what that name is, baby. I'm not even going to try to say it. I'll badger it, and I don't want to do that to you. But yes, there is Jazz in the background. I typed should. I know what you were trying to say. That's why I corrected it for you. Okay, yes, 100. They pick on me like... Entitlement is very powerful. And that's another thing. The whole entitlement thing is just amazing. And you know what? It's like somebody just, wow, gosh, they've been letting weirdos in for a minute. So I don't know where these people came in saying, white entitlement, white privilege. And then, the poor black people, how the black folks are just so picked on and how all this other stuff. This is the time period that we're living in that everybody had the opportunity before this melee, this stuff started, where everybody really did have the opportunity to do whatever they needed to do to help themselves. Listen, there are opportunities that abound. They really do abound. I know some people, get a little angry when I say this, but there are opportunities for everyone who chooses to make it. And it is nobody's fault. I don't agree with the CRT. Don't agree with it at all. And I don't care who don't like it. I don't agree with it. I don't need you teaching anybody, especially my children or grandchildren, anything about them being a victim. That victim crap is the reason why we're in the trouble that we're in right now. Nobody takes any accountability for their choices. Oh, of course not. It's far easier to just be the victim. If it's somebody else's fault, then there's nobody to blame, which means you don't have to hold the bag. Even though you went and bought the bag or stole the bag or used the bag, borrowed the bag, it doesn't matter. The bag is in your hands, but you're not going to hold it because we're not going to allow you to hold it. We're going to say that it's because this happened that you're doing this, or it's because that happened that you are who you are. That's a bunch of malarkey. And look who said malarkey. I wonder why he didn't use his whole malarkey thing throughout his throughout his campaign. Possibly because he knew that there was going to be malarkey while he was president. Speaking of which, on our Patreon there is a story. It's just a regular casual story, and we're pointing out some of the stuff that's going on, but not able to necessarily give our opinion without causing people some type of distress. So it's on Patreon, and we're talking about the Harris and the Biden of it all. You know, we're getting into what's really going on. What's really going on, okay? Felicia, they always tell us what they're going to do before they do it. That is so correct. Brain mapping initiative. I think, yes, that's where they're headed. That's what they're doing, okay? We need more love in this world. Girl, we not only need more love in this world, but to me, we need people who are really going to get up, stand up, and say, hey, look here, we're not taking this and run people out. Okay? I just would like to see... I'm imagining, in my head, I am imagining the torches that they used to chase out Frankenstein. I want them to get the torches that they chased Frankenstein out with and just be done with the whole thing. Just be done with the whole thing. Everybody, just get on up, get your torch and just run on up there. Everybody. But it ain't going to be like 20 or 30. No, it needs to be all of them. Everybody, all of them. Just goodbye. Get out. Yes. Wow, really? Deborah Johnson is so brilliant. She has so much good information. She and Rachel Van Ziel. Mama Bear, Papa Bear. Like I say, all you guys are the smartest. But yes, thank you for that. Okay, hey, Tam Tam, what's going on, legs? It's good to see you, lady. Good morning. You guys, we're about to close up here. But I'm glad that you all joined me this morning on our Coffee and Jazz with Fifi. It's just something for us to relax and to be able to just chill out with each other and talk. Not so stuffy. You know what I mean? Where we can just throw, our comments up and say what we want to say and whatnot. So let's see. Sarah Brown says, I'm going to read a few of your comments and then we're going to go ahead and close up. Sarah Brown says, they've been doing stuff since the beginning of time. Nothing new under the sun. Bacon's Rebellion, the burning of Jamestown. That was all about divide and conquer. Don't believe your history books. She said that. Freeborn love from Germany. Hey, how you? And hello to you, Steve Willis. You listening? Okay, well, good. We glad. I like the little ears. Thank you. I don't want any robot near my kids and grandkids, especially my challenged children or my elderly loved ones. Well, they've got it all going right now. They really do. Exactly, Timothy Mansker. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. David Lewis says, remember one rule, no technology designed for the benefits of man is or will be used without the eventual command and control doctrine. Nuclear power was just one example, and Oppenheimer knew. Very good point, David. Very good point. There is no black and white. I am not a color of a white cloud. You are not a color of a black crayon. We are only pigmented or non-pigmented humans. We must stop using these terms. Absolutely. And I always say, where is the country of black? There is none. Oh, Dove J, I love your thumbnail. That bird is gorgeous. G, is the recent blank a part of the programming? Yes, it is, because we know what's in there. Yesterday, Felicia said that we need more love in the world. Just need a hug sometimes. People just need a hug sometimes. I know that's right, honey, because I know I need a hug every now and then. And every now and then I'll see you guys give me a virtual hug. But one day, very soon, I know that Sandy and I have been talking about this, and then I know one of the sisters here have been talking about all of us getting together, and I think that's so important for us to just maybe find one spot in the middle, and we all can just meet. Just meet up. I just would love that more than anything, because I think that you should know those that you labor among. Deborah Johnson says Canada government gets a kickback from the companies. Really? Trudeau orders 10 times the number for their population. And I knew that there was some type of kickbacks. I've just been waiting to find out where I can find that information. Oh boy, Deborah, that's amazing. These terms are being used to divide us. I love you, Felicia. I love you as well. Yes, they are. And that is the problem. We cannot allow that to divide us. I may like key lime pie. Somebody else may say pooey to key lime pie. But we can still come to the table of agreement and decide that I'm going to have it for dessert, and you can have what you like for dessert. But we don't have to get up from the table. We don't have to separate ourselves from each other. We can still, care for each other. Differences is what makes the world go around. Having a difference of opinion is a healthy thing, and that's the reason why it's been attacked so. That is the reason why it's been attacked. Yes, that is the reason why they've attacked it. We are human, nothing more, nothing less. Right? We're a family of huggers. There's nothing wrong with that. Multitudes of races and human beings have had it hard for different reasons, and we make the choice to stay a victim or to do something about it. Choice is the freedom that we all have. Absolutely, DG. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is okay, because our Father puts us here for such a time as this, and He wins. That's right. Hello, how you doing there, Oz? There is still opportunities now. Necessity, truly the mother of invention. Think, what can I do with my own hands to make money? And ask the Father to bless that. I like that idea. That's right, Oz. That is absolutely right. That's right. Do you mean my flip phone? I don't have a smartphone. I know the monograph is the same way. He's got his flip phone. Try to say that 3 times fast. Poor people, the workers, the clear thinkers are the ones who are being picked on. Refuse to be a victim. That's right. Refuse it. Melvin, Thomas, how are you? Crumpets, coffee, and Fifi. Elohim to you. Hello, how are you? I'm going to sip my tea. Today I'm having my tea. I'm having my tea today, Melvin. But yes, you can believe that before, because it's 9:58 here in Alabama, you can definitely believe that before 12 o'clock, baby, I'm going to have me a nice big mug of coffee. Yes. Well, it's good to see you, Melvin. Deborah Johnson, I'm looking for a replacement when they turn the analog and 3G services. Oh, okay. I don't want a new thing. I wonder, can you still get anything analog? Even my house phone is digital. Ha! And you see how they snuck that into us? Do you see what they did? I think this is the end times. I think Revelation 12 sign was the beginning of the tribulation. Very well. Wasn't it Obama's baby, the brain mapping initiative? Yes, that is what it is. It was him. He did it. You know what I think maybe we'll do, since we're still dealing with technology this week, on this segment. I think we will take a look at that. And then I also want to bring the information that I shared with you all last year, where then President Trump was on this big thing about, making sure that AI was a part of America's, fabric, that we led the charge with AI, and had made sure that different parts of the government had AI implemented into it. Has anybody noticed that with your Google phone, I had to start turning mine off and putting it in another room when I go to sleep. But for the most part, I would get up in the morning and my telephone would start to chime as soon as I would move. And I had found that there was this little thing in the back in the settings that it has it for body sensor emotion. Now, I end up turning it off, and so therefore it does not move. But mind you, while I'm sleeping, the phone is nowhere near me. But as soon as I move, the phone on the nightstand or in the dresser starts to chime. Aha! Has anyone ever felt that or had that or seen that? Anybody? I've had that happen. So I'm just wondering if you guys have seen it. Thank you, Felicia. I like to pay attention. Oh, honey, I love you. I think you're brilliant. I've read a lot of the stuff that I've seen, and I think you're brilliant, and you're a very kind woman, Deborah Johnson. You really are. Very, very kind. 5 hugs a day. Oh, good for mental health. Well, child, I am so depleted. I'm like 3 years behind. I don't even get one a day. So I know I need a hug. If you say that, Melinda, tarred feathers. I live in a liberal town, and I just have to say that one of my son's assignment was to write if he would be a loyalist to England or if he would be a patriot. Oh, this has me on alert. Oh boy, I tell you, you guys. Well, you know, we're coming up right here. We're at the hour mark, and I want to thank each and every one of you all for sharing your morning with me while we have our fifis, jazz, and coffee. I'm glad that you guys came. I'm glad that everybody was able to familiarize themselves with the show because, you know, it's just chilling. Hey, Rachel Van Ziel, we're just chilling, and that's really all we're doing. It's not anything, like I said, anything scripted. It's actually an opportunity for you guys to come in and say whatever you want, to share any information that you have. Good morning, Ronnie, man. Where's the Cash App ticker? Someone post her links. He said, where's the Cash App ticker? There's the Cash App ticker. And if there is anyone that would like to sew here, you definitely can. The Cash App is $ Lockhart Perspective, $ Lockhart Perspective, and PayPal me, FT Lockhart. FT Lockhart. So you can do it either way. And I appreciate that. And then if you don't feel like you want to do it on any external way, you could definitely do something here on the channel. Right here on the Lockhart Perspective, there is a way for you to give. And you can if you choose to. I want to thank everybody who has given. I mean, I've received wonderful blessings and wonderful gifts from people via email, via mail. And I just want to thank you guys all so much for thinking of me. Thinking of me and these little babies. So I appreciate you guys. Well, they can start all the trials they want, but not this girl, Rachel Van Ziel. That came from Mama Bear, Papa Bear. And they can make us think that we're losing. And not so. Hit the like button. Thank you. Amy Duran, Ronnie, good morning. Yes. Okay, you guys. Yeah, we're going to get on out of here. I want to thank all of you all for waking up early, for hanging out on your lunch break, on your breakfast break, or whatever you're on, sitting at your coffee table. Thank you so much for joining. And I want you guys to remember one important thing that we always say, that I always say here on this channel, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. Until we see each other again, you all take care of yourselves first, and then take care of one another. Until we speak again, be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.